first and foremost, thank you everyone for having me here today. I am truly honored to be included with such a remarkable group, all focused on helping our children get off with the strongest possible start in life. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about my very unconventional path to science and some of the roadblocks that I encountered along the way. My father was a biochemistry professor, so you might say that it was in the genes all along, but it took me a while to get there. As a young girl, academics never really captured my mind or my imagination. Competitive tennis, however, did. And it was this combination of skills I learned on and off the court that helped shape my future in ways I never could have predicted. In particular, I credit characteristics I developed as an athlete, like perseverance and discipline and resilience, that gave me the confidence to pursue a unique life course. As well, I credit learning to proactively use the powerful creative brain chemistry that happens when we're physically active. Have a big idea? Take it out on a run or a walk, preferably out in nature. Let your mind feel free to dream, play with it. I attended the University of Colorado on a tennis scholarship, and I majored in finance. I thought business was interesting, but I also wanted a career that would provide the financial security I had had as a child. My parents are immigrants, and we had limited means when I was growing up. Despite this desire for stability, the desire for adventure took over after I graduated from college, and I had the chance to go play professional tennis over in Europe. So I did. It was an amazing experience competing at that level. After 3 years of some success and mounting losses to girls much younger than I decided it was time to pack up my duffel bag, come home, and get myself a real job. So upon return to the States, I had my sights set on the investment business. There was a problem. It was a really hot industry, and there were no jobs. I didn't even have an MBA. So I had to go to plan B. I was able to scrounge up a job working the phones in the mailroom for a small but growing mutual fund company in Denver. Over the course of the next 7 years, I worked my way up to becoming a research analyst, a portfolio manager for one of the firm's largest funds, and eventually their first female vice president. It was a wonderful experience and exciting, but there was something missing. I didn't feel the sense of intrinsic motivation that I wanted and needed to feel with my work. I needed to feel an emotional connection with it. While my friends in finance were reading books by Warren Buffett on how to be a successful investor, I was reading books like Emotional Intelligence, and books on the biology of psychology. These are the books that really spoke to me. And I realized over the course of time, the bottom line was that people and understanding what made people successful was much more interesting to me than what made companies successful. So, to the surprise of many, I retired from the finance business at the ripe old age of 32. In exploring the next chapter, I reached out to a well-respected university professor. He said to me upon hearing my background, "Sheila, you don't have a snowball's chance in hell of getting into a good PhD program." And I think he was trying to just give it to me straight, honestly. But thankfully I didn't listen to him. I went on, pursued my goal, and once again the stars aligned as they had in the investment business. I found a way to create a role for myself by figuring out how I could add value. I became a doctoral student on the Twins Early Development Study, the largest ever longitudinal twin study focusing on children's cognitive abilities, behavior, and language development. My idea was that we could use this amazing study to look at how nature and nurture, or genes in the environment, played out in the classroom. The thinking was that if we understood early what's happening inside of children, it'll optimize our chances of helping children reach their peak performance on the outside. Turns out Robert Plomin, the principal investigator of the study, was thinking the same thing. And there I was. Unlike the other professor, Robert saw my unique background as a strength. And for that, I'm eternally grateful that he gave me a chance. So back to the study. I was off to the races, and it was really exciting. Cutting edge work, but it was also really hard. These behavioral geneticists spoke a language I simply did not understand. but with the help of many generous mentors and colleagues, I was able to adapt and figure it out as I went along. Which brings me to a very important lesson that I learned early on and everyone here should know. Science is fundamentally about teamwork. I was thrilled years later to hear one of my biological scientific heroes, Edward O. Wilson, articulate this so beautifully. He said, if you love science, find your place within it. It is the ultimate team activity. No one person can do it alone. And here's my favorite part. He said, if you don't like statistics, find a collaborator who does. That was music to my ears. And I did that, and I finished a 4-year PhD in 3. Today, I'm a scientist at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, and with a joint appointment in the School of Education. Because I love science, and I love people, I have found a home in the space in between, an area called translation. This means I work to make biological science user-friendly so that people who are touching the lives of our children every day can apply it in real life. Specifically, my work focuses on how chronic stress and that which is endemic growing up in poverty can become toxic to a child's developing brain and their immune system, hence impeding their ability to learn and live a happy, healthy, and productive life. My strong feeling is that for this to happen, the fields of medicine and education must be more closely connected because at its core, especially for our most vulnerable children, public education is a public health issue. I can't talk about my life and my work without talking about my most important job. That is my mom. That is mom with my husband Willie to our 3 boys, Jack, Charlie, and Wyatt. We're 12, 10, and 9 years old. Never a dull moment at our house. But I feel lucky I get to bring my job home with me every day. We weave science into everyday conversations about the world around us, about people, about nature, about outer space. It's fun, this open-ended joy of discovery. We get our hands dirty together. It builds critical thinking skills, and it also brings us closer. So all of the threads of my life, personal and professional, have converged in a beautiful way in my current career. I have a sense of mission I always dreamed of. I feel emotionally connected to my work and the people that I work with. There is incredible intellectual stimulation, and I continue to compete in tennis at a national level. It keeps me healthy and it keeps my mind sharp. But the best part is I get to work alongside remarkable, inspiring people working every day to shape big ideas to make the world a better place. And this is what science is all about. And everything that we can do to make science accessible and fun is going to further strengthen our ability to develop a strong pipeline of our little scientists, because they are our future and our legacy. Muchísimas gracias.
Some inspiring stories about unconventional paths. If you don't have a way, you got to make your way, right? We're going to continue.